You're listening to the Game Tenants Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to the Game Tenants Podcast, the failed adventures of two gamers and their quest for Gamecast stardom.
AKA worthlessly lazy, but so game crazy.
This is episode 91, and I am Church of the Game Grinder, and as always, joined by my excellent co-host, Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming.
What's up, everybody?
What is up, folks?
Ugh, it's like dark times. I feel like we live in like the 1800s or 1700s with the Black Plague.
Yeah, pretty much.
This bullshit. So let's it's gonna have a little bit about what we're gonna be talking about today.
What?
It's gonna have to do with the dark times we're falling on through diseases running rampant and shit, but also possible new life.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Oh yeah, I like to cryptically hint at things we might. But you know what I really like?
What's that?
Old school video games.
What?
And I fucking love when they're highlighted. Oh my god, just up on a pedestal. I love to see them.
So should we talk about a retro game then?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
What
retro
you got?
game highlight.
Yeah.
We need to get like a little jingle or something.
Retro game highlight.
Or something.
Shit, show it off. There we go. Done.
So,
$50.
last time you had talked about Alien Syndrome for the Sega Master System,
Sure as hell did.
which I wanted to mention. I didn't realize that there was a Nintendo version of that as well. We mentioned the arcade version. There's also a Nintendo version.
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that.
Kind of neat. I didn't know until I was looking up music because I wanted to use music for the intro.
And you
But-
okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it being on the Sega Genesis Classics or Sega Classics collection, but it's not the same thing. It's like a updated version. It's a pretty critically panned version of all the games that are included on it. They're like updated for no reason, and they don't work as good as the basic games do. So
Good job,
it pissed a
Sega.
lot of people off. So when I said I owned it, I actually don't own it. I thought I was talking about like the Sega Genesis collections, like the.
It's too confusing.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's so many compilations on the PS2.
Too many.
So I apologize for being confused. I own the case for it, but with how much I'm seeing people not enjoy it, I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to get it.
No. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I
But
like games, so it's not. I'm not ruling it completely out.
yeah. So this time I thought, a lot of times we talk about games that get less attention than normal, but everybody kind of knows this game. But I figured it deserves some love on this podcast. So I decided that I wanted to highlight Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES.
Wait, they made a third one?
They did, in fact. It was featured in a movie and
Oh, I mean-
everything.
Well, I mean, I know there was three of them. There's Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros, and Super Mario Bros 2. So which one do you mean?
I'm confused.
There's Mario Bros, which is like the arcade game. There's Super Mario Bros and Super Mario Bros 2. There's a third one after that?
There's a third one indeed.
Holy shit. I bet it's awesome though.
See, if you watched The Wizard, you would know.
Shit.
You gotta watch The Wizard, man.
I don't have a VCR.
I wonder if it's on Blu-ray. It might be.
I actually have a VCR. Oh,
But yeah, so Super Mario Brothers 3 is, I'm sure everybody knows it, but I want to give it a highlight because it's a pretty rad game. Pretty has like special significance to my childhood, I guess. So I thought I would highlight it. I'd imagine you've played Super Mario Brothers 3, of course.
Yes, I have.
Do you have any particular memories or thoughts on the game before I kind of ramble on for a few minutes?
Oh, I love it. It's definitely my favorite one out of the 4 Mario, Mario games on the main Mario games on the NES.
For sure.
I really like the progression the series took after. It's basically like it's more. It kind of skips over 2 because 2 was, as many know, not the actual second Mario game.
Mario 2 is Mario 2.
Yeah, but it's like a return to form from like the first game.
I loved
They
Mario.
added the map system is what I really like about it. You feel like you can kind of see you're getting somewhere. I like that feeling of progress.
Yeah, and you can save your progress.
Yeah, so it's
pretty rad.
It was awesome. Yeah, I remember the first time I played it was when I was in anger management counseling when I was a kid.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's that. It worked because I got to play Mario 3.
Sweet. I hope it helped.
And when I bought my NES many years later, it's actually the game that came with it. So
nice.
I had Mario 3 and Punch Up, besides the Zelda 2 that I just bought for no reason because it's Zelda 2 and it was $1. But yeah, so it was one of the first games I finally owned when I got to start collecting, and it's in my top 5 definitely of all the Mario games.
I haven't played enough. I haven't played a lot of the Mario games. Pretty much it's like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Mario Party, and Mario Kart. Like I haven't played any of the others. I haven't played 64. I haven't played Galaxy. I haven't played Sunshine, Odyssey.
I played the majority of them, but I actually kind of have a problem. It's a personal problem I have when it comes to first-party Nintendo games, is that I play them, I like them, but I never, very seldomly, like play them all the way to the end. It's like I play it and just drop it. I'll get back to it because you can get back to it, and it's not like other games. A lot of other games where you're like, okay, where the hell was I now? Because they're so pick up and play that you can put them down as easily as you pick them up. That's not saying anything about the quality of the games. They're really great games, but they just don't seem to hold my attention.
Interesting.
Crazy a lot. But like the older games do more so than like the newer stuff. Like I was saying, the newer Mario games like Galaxy and even Odyssey, I loved it, but I just played it hard for a few days and then just kind of put it down and have yet to go back to it.
Interesting. Well, my background with Mario Brothers 3, like I said, it's kind of a significant game to me for various reasons. I believe I had heard maybe I saw commercials or talking about it. A lot of people were introduced to it, I guess, from The Wizard, which came out in 1990. I think it was before the game was released, because I think the game was released a few months after or something. But I did get to see a lot of movies in the theater, and I didn't see The Wizard until a little bit later, but I still think I saw the movie before the game came out. I'm not sure. It might have been after. But anyways, so I got my Nintendo in early 89, I believe. I was still 6 when I got it. So I got Super Mario Brothers 3 like a year and a half later. I actually got it for Christmas. And, original Super Mario Brothers, great game. I loved Mario Brothers 2, especially. Like, that was very popular with me and my dad. And then what was interesting was, so that winter of 90, I believe, Christmas of 1990, essentially, like, my family kind of came on some hard times, and our gas got shut off so we didn't have any heat in our house. So what ended up happening was my stepmom and my brother and my sister ended up staying with a family friend. My dad is a very proud person, and I am my dad's son. I won't deny that. I was going to stay with my dad, and we are going to tough out this very cold winter together. We used the dryer that was in our essentially like in our kitchen, had our dryer, and I think that's where it was. Well, we used that and to like try to give some warmth to the house, but we just sat wrapped up in blankets and whatnot. But I think it was like a few days early before Christmas, regardless of hard times that my family faced, my parents always tried to make a point to make sure we got like a birthday present or a Christmas present, things like that, even if it was at the detriment to us. But my dad ended up letting me open up a Christmas present early, and it was Super Mario Brothers 3. And then basically for the next few days, or however long it was, I don't remember exactly, me and my dad basically hung out, wrapped up in blankets on the couch, playing Super Mario Brothers 3.
That's so badass. I was really thinking that was going to take a different twist. He was going to be like, fuck, this sucks. Let's go buy a video game. I was like, man, your dad might be closer to me than I even knew. Man, this sucks. Let's go buy some video games.
Yeah. So, and then basically for however long it took to eventually get through Super Mario Brothers 3, because it's kind of a tough game. Like me and my family played it. Like I was the main one. I was always making the progress and whatnot, but. You die, you got to start over. My dad would play it. My dad would have like a friend or my uncle come over and they would play it. I'd play it with my brother, and my stepmom would play it. My sister was too young at the time, but it was very popular in my house. I was always the guy, like I'd be sleeping. My dad would be like hanging out like late at night or something with like my uncle or a friend, and they'd come and wake me up and be like, Hey, we need you to make this jump for us. We can't make this jump. I go out and make the jump for them and then go back to sleep and whatnot. But yeah, it's Super Mario Brothers 3. I think it is a great game. I don't want to take away from it by any means, but usually when people talk about the early Super Mario Brothers, everyone has to mention their favorite. Super Mario World ended up being my favorite Super Mario Brothers game, but Super Mario Brothers 3 will always be a very special game just for that specific memory.
Oh, I definitely. Damn, I just played it because I was an angry kid. So my story's not as cool.
I had some anger issues when I was younger too.
Sweet.
I actually also went to counseling a few times for anger. My dad ended up saying, "Nope, this is worthless," so I didn't do that. And I chilled out years later, but interesting backgrounds.
Yeah, we're angry wild childs. Now we're laid back video game podcast hosts.
Yeah.
See, it all comes together.
Right. So then I think we can jump into some news topics. We got a few things to talk about.
Yeah, like the plague.
The plague.
It's fucking everything up for everybody.
Yep. So of course, whether you're a person freaking out about it, whether you think it's a hoax, quote in parentheses, it's not. But I'm sure everybody's heard about the coronavirus at this point, and now it is making its way through the North American territories and starting to mess up some things.
Yeah, it's making its way downtown, moving fast, face fast, and we're homebound. Just like the song.
So, it's some particularly unfortunate news for you.
Yeah, they canceled E3. Dicks.
Wow.
Yeah, we just planned our trip. Like I said, I wasn't planning on going back to E3, but my wife actually really, really enjoyed herself in LA and she says, "Hey, why don't we go again?" So we were all geared to go to E3 again, but I guess not.
Interesting. And then also, I don't think it's outright been canceled, but like everybody's pulled out of GDC.
Yeah, a lot of conventions on the West Coast, especially, are getting canceled. They're postponed, and I know Riggs had like 10 he was planning to go to, and like 4 of them are canceled. Especially as far as people we know that go to a lot of conventions.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's I honestly, it's understandable, and I'd rather people be safe and whatnot than doing a big whatever convention whatnot. But it is what it is.
bullshit is what it is.
And also at the same time, it's causing some delays.
Yeah.
There was a convention, I forget which one, that was delayed. I just saw a post about it. I think it was the one in Connecticut. Mike of Dongled, dude, you haven't played this game. He just mentioned today that their local convention was delayed until this fall.
Piss.
And nobody really knows how long this whole virus thing's going to go for. Actually, I was not trying to talk about virus stuff too much, but there's a lot of reports saying that really it's going to ramp up in the next couple weeks, because it basically just kind of made its way in, started spreading around, and it takes a few weeks for it to or a couple weeks for it to incubate and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how long this goes and to what extent. I've been following it, not like the media's reporting and whatnot.
Yeah, just the memes.
Not even the memes. I've been following like the numbers and kind of how it's been spreading. I don't know, for some reason this particular instance, I'm more curious than I have been for other recent outbreaks and modern pandemics. There's a great website. I mentioned it when we were talking beforehand. If you look up John Hopkins coronavirus map, John Hopkins is like a medical organization, research and whatnot. They have this really great interactive map that I've kind of been following. So I've been watching the numbers grow and what the directions it's spreading. It's interesting, but sucks that it's affecting things. It's affecting manufacturing. I'm surprised we haven't been hearing more game delays, because a lot of games are manufactured in China. The TurboGrafx 16 has been delayed. Indefinitely is not the right word, but it's delayed. They don't know when it's not going to be delayed.
Until further notice.
Yeah, until further notice.
Yeah, so yeah, that TurboGrafx 16 Mini, that PC Engine Mini, whatever version of it you were looking forward to, you're going to have to wait. So that sucks.
And related to that, I will say Sarumaru actually put out a pretty funny video.
Yeah, it was like, until then you could, play TurboGrafx.
Yeah, because there was actually people, and curse these people, a pox upon their house. There were people that are legitimately like expressing anger and being upset that the TurboGrafx Mini was delayed. It's like, people are dying, man. Like,
fuck,
relax. They'll come out.
Some games that I could have already
like,
played.
Emulate,
emulate it.
Just emulate it. That's what it is. It's just emulate an emulation box.
Yeah.
So they could just emulate it if they're like really that, or if they're like really hardcore about this, get a TurboGrafx.
Yeah. It's been available for a while.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm bummed, but I understand.
Yeah.
Like I'm bummed about E3. I made it seem like I'm more angry than I am. It sucks.
No,
it's not like someone did it on purpose.
Right.
It's like, good.
Like all the door handles.
Yeah.
No entry. I guess on the plus side is, well, as is the Midwest Gaming Classic, it just recently made a post that they're, things are going on as planned, they'll monitor the situation and kind of see what things happen. But I'm not gonna not go. I like MGC as yearly highlight. So
yeah. Well, speaking of undeserved super raging anger, how about that announcement about Horizon Zero Dawn going to PC and people like
I heard about this of people reacting to the people that were reacting.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the memes that were coming out of it, and it's like
so silly.
What the hell? Like, there are people who are legitimately angry. I saw a video, and I don't know, there might have been some other context of a guy who like smashed his PlayStation because he's like, "What's the point?" It's like, what?
You're a fucking idiot.
I wish all games were available for all systems at all times. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Like, I don't like. I can't fathom console fanboying to that level.
Yeah.
You got a preferred console, good for you. That doesn't make the other consoles shitty. Like, I don't know. It's okay if
it's not like it's going to
somebody else enjoys a game. It's not like,
yeah,
it's not like they're like, hey, Horizon Zero Dawn, now it's available to Nazis. Now the Nazis can enjoy it. And they're like, hey, fuck those guys. Like, it's not that. So it's just like, oh, people that own PCs, people can enjoy things I enjoy.
Yeah. That's silly.
I don't get it.
It's silly.
I don't get it at all. It's more funny to me than, I don't know, if you're gonna break your PlayStation, how about just like donate to someone who'd appreciate it? Especially when you're a PlayStation fanboy, you figure you'd appreciate it. But if you're gonna smash it over a game, leaving it exclusivity, you're really, you don't even deserve that. You don't abuse the systems.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, and I guess we can kind of go on to more related. I would say undeserved rage. Some people think it's justified, but the Bloodstained Kickstarter campaign released a note that they had to change one of the stretch goals, and it was kind of I would say a big stretch goal. So originally, one of the stretch goals for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was there was essentially going to be like a rogue-like mode. I forget exactly what it was called, but it was going to be like random layouts of the castle and
like a randomizer.
And that's what they're switching to. So instead of having like an actual rogue-like mode, they're going to do a randomized mode that's going to have like enemies in different places and I think different items and whatnot. But there are some people who are pretty upset. I was reading comments on the Kickstarter.
Well, as far as everything goes, always there's people who are upset.
Yeah. And if there were some people, this is what they were saying. I don't know if I believe them, but there are some people who are like, yeah, I was kind of like thinking about maybe back in the game, but when I saw that there was going to be a roguelike version, like that's when I was in. And if that's true for those folks, that could suck quite a bit because it's like, oh, hey, I kind of get like a roguelike Castlevania, which would be sweet. I mean, no doubt. But I don't know. And then some people are saying that they've had to have known about this for a while because apparently it's something to do with the programming, like how the game is programmed.
Yeah, it won't work on their engine is what they said.
Yeah.
They've obviously tried to do it.
So I don't know if they just like finally gave up or what the deal was. So I know some people are upset about that. That it's been, a year since the game's released and now they tell us.
Yeah, that's kind of getting that. I don't know.
But, is what it is. Personally, I'm not upset, but I don't speak for all the backers. I backed the game, and I am ecstatic with how the game turned out. That's what I wanted. All the extra stuff is cool, and I'm looking forward to it. the extra DLC and the other characters.
It's just extra icing, honestly.
Yeah.
Or if you've played it, you know how amazing this game is. So it's not like they dropped a shitty game and the only redeeming quality was going to be this mode, because then it would be shitty. But yeah, it's so good that literally today I just double dipped and bought the Xbox version of Virtual of the Night because it was like $10. So why the heck not?
Yeah,
and it was my 2018 game of the year. So yeah, that's the only reason. I mean, it's like
2019.
Was it 2019?
Yeah, that was last year.
It was last year. Yeah, it was last year's game of the year. What am I talking about? That's how fast life goes. It seems like so long ago since I played it.
Yeah, it does seem like it's been a while.
So yeah, that's how good it was. It was 2018 and 2019 game of the year for me. Just leading up to it, I was like, that's the best game. You're like, it's not even out yet.
Booyah.
So that's the most I've cared about gaming all year. But yeah, I do that for games I like. If I like a game enough and pretty thoroughly beat it already, I just grab for the other system and see what I can do on there. As long as I'm not getting it for Switch, it should be good.
I hear the Switch version's mostly been ironed out, I think.
Not taking that chance. Honestly, whatever. I'd prefer it on anything but the Switch, honestly.
What? You don't think it, like every other game in creation, is perfect for the Switch? Because every time I hear a game announced for the Switch, people are like, that's perfect for the Switch.
And I go, oh, is it on anything else? I literally go, is there a PS4 version? Because usually it's not on Xbox too. But it's like, can it at least be on PS4? Oh, good, there's a PS4 version. Yes.
Gotta appease those no Switch, no buy people.
Yeah, if it's on multiple systems and I get it on the Switch, it's because I could only find it on the Switch, or it was a lot cheaper on the Switch. And that's after I've done my research on, is it because it sucks on the Switch? Like, is it not run well? Is it half of it I have to download and stuff like that? Yeah, people never really seem to touch on the actual problems of the Switch, but only talk about its successes. I still like it. Like my last trip I went on, the only games I bought were 2 Switch games and a 3DS game, but that was for said savings. Is what it is. I don't hate the Switch, but I don't think it's as amazing as other people seem to think it is. But I think we talk about that almost every time we talk about the Switch. we gotta cancel the over Switch love, I guess. We'll keep it real.
Just gotta knock down all fanboys.
Yeah. Also, Xbox sucks. Okay, then I feel like I've leveled the playing field just so everyone's got knocked down a peg already. That's what I'm here for. But you know who's not about knocking people down a peg?
Who's
Reggie Fils-Aime.
What? Reggie Fils-Aime.
Yeah, he's trying
of all the things about Nintendo, there's one thing that I will definitely say I really liked about Nintendo was Reggie. Reggie was awesome.
Yeah, he was cool.
I mean, yeah, he's a corporate guy. He was there to sell a product, but he was very likable. I thought seemed like he was involved. He seemed like he legitimately enjoyed what was going on in the product. So I liked Reggie.
Yeah, he was cool. And now he's trying to lend a hand to GameStop to help them turn shit around before it's too late.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people might think too bad it's too late, but hopefully he can help them out.
Yeah.
I don't hate GameStop as much as
I've ragged on GameStop before, but
yeah,
I'm glad we have GameStop.
For the most part, I mean, people when people complain, it's usually about a shitty customer service or something.
Yeah,
I won't hold that against the whole whole company. Yeah, they've done some shitty things and stuff, but they've never really personally affected me too much, except for when I bought that copy of Star Wars Battlefront and I brought the actual case of the game, and then I looked in my bag when I got home 4 hours later, and it was one of those shitty coverless cases. Never mind. You know what? Fuck GameStop, man.
And I mean, the things for GameStop that made me the most upset was they open new games and then they sell them to you as new, and then the I think they could have done a little better with some trade-in values and whatnot, but
I don't honestly trade value. No one makes you take that.
Yeah,
if
right.
if you're taking the 15 cents for your game, you're an idiot and you deserve all that bad feelings it gives you, and that's all you get. You could sell it on Facebook Marketplace for $5 or something. When they go, oh yeah, 15 cents for that, you could go, okay, never mind on that. I'll just, I don't know. I never got that part. I mean, also, who gets rid of games? Just keep all the games. Keep all the games.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what effect he has on the company. I'm not really digging this GameStop 2.0 thing that's going on. I don't know if you've heard about those.
It's not like the second coming of Christ. It's like a guy just trying to help a floundering company. But it's
but the GameStop 2.0 is less appealing to me than GameStop that we're used to, because they basically they're removing a ton of stuff from the stores, and then they're putting all these tables in, and then there's you can play PCs. They're turning them into a LAN shop basically, where you can play games, and then the walls have games, but it looks like the inventory is way reduced. And
I saw there's a really weird one in the Mall of America actually when I was there. I think I told you about it after we went, and it felt like it was an Apple store mixed with a GameStop.
Yeah, so I didn't know, but maybe that's what the new model, because I hear they're popping up.
Yeah, they didn't have the kiosks and stuff like you're talking about. They were having things where you could play the games and all that, but they had one side was like a GameStop, but it felt weird. It was almost like a library, almost like when you go into a Barnes and Noble or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had they've got a ton of collectible stuff now, but they had these collectible cases and shit. And I didn't mind it, but it was just kind of am I in the right store kind of feeling. It's definitely the weirdest feeling I've had going into a GameStop.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen. I don't go to GameStop much myself, and I always kind of regret that, because I see a lot of people posting, oh, they got
4 for 20 deals.
Yeah, all those crazy deals. But it's that's why I don't go to GameStop, because I buy enough games as is. Then if I'm going to GameStop, I'm buying more games. It's I gotta limit myself somehow.
Wait,
I can't just walk into a GameStop and not buy something.
Did you just multiple game buy shame me?
No, you do what you want.
So I like to go out and buy lots of games.
Me too.
And the funny thing is, when you get an actually good surprise when you buy a new game from there, and you find out it comes in a big box. When I bought the Liar Princess and the Blind Prince.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh shit, is this the only copy available? Oh, whatever. And I grabbed it and then I brought it up there. The guy was mad because he's like, oh shit, I didn't know we had this. I would have bought it. And it came in the big box with everything in it. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually surprising. I guess actually that is what I dislike GameStop for, is that they destroy things. They throw away DS cases. They'll throw away controllers that they can't sell, and they'll cut the cords and stuff. That's crappy, because that's I wouldn't say we're preservationists, but by collecting and whatnot, we're preserving things. So I'd much rather them not destroy products. And
more annoying thing
is great.
Yeah, getting a game and being like, wow, now I have to track down this DS case. I've got a Ziploc bag full of loose DS games.
Well, and honestly, most games probably ended up, the vast majority of games that end up in the United States probably get traded into GameStop.
Yeah.
More so than anywhere else. And if they're throwing away all the cases, Jesus, that's is bad. I mean, it's making modern games have that same rarity scope that NES and Super Nintendo did with cardboard boxes. When people didn't even think of them as collectibles, there's just a toy. They get the game, throw all the stuff away, and just keep the cartridge.
Yeah, it was annoying. It still is.
Yeah.
It always bugs me. But yeah, like I said, sometimes it works and you get like a cool surprise. Like, that happened, and the same thing happened when I grabbed that 3DS game on my last trip. I grabbed Etrian Odyssey Nexus, and I didn't know there was like a big box version, a launch edition or something. It came with like this tall box with like a pin and an art book in it, and I was like, oh, cool. And I only grabbed it because it was like dirt cheap, and like all their other very small selection of 3DS games at this point were all like new prices, and I was like, ew. I was like, oh, an RPG for like, I think it was like $15. I was like, sure. And then the added bonus is always kind of cool.
And
like, oh, I didn't get around to throwing this out yet.
Sometimes they got like some of the pre-order bonuses are cool, or you just go in and be like, hey, can I get one of those posters? And I've got you asked for an extra poster for me for Code Vein.
I got that Tomb Raider flashlight that one time.
That's how I got my Diablo poster.
So I got I've gotten some cool shit. When Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, they sent like an overabundance of these like poster flags, and I was throwing them all out to people at our MGC dinner. Like, who wants one? I got like 20 of these fucking things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's pretty rad. I mean, there's some cool.
Yeah, the bonuses, but the bonuses should just be for any retailer. That's the thing that bugs me.
Yeah.
Or when it's like a collector's edition and it's a GameStop exclusive. I'm like, don't really wanna. I want it to be on Amazon because then I don't pay shipping. Is what it all boils down to, honestly.
Yeah, and you don't have a local GameStop, so you can't take advantage.
EB Games in Canada. My closest GameStop is 3.5 hours away.
Yeah.
So that's not local. But yeah, hopefully he can turn it around, have some cool strategies. I saw a joke about his first strategy being, with every purchase, give away a copy of Wii Sports. That made me laugh. But,
well, I mean, it's become super collectible now because some people caught on that they could buy them up for super cheap and then drive up the prices.
Yeah. Well, what else? If you need a copy, I can help you out.
Yeah.
I brought multiple copies so I could help drive the prices up. So.
All right. So let's jump into the community question.
Sounds good.
Last time we had talked about, this was in reference to like some game movies that we watched, Dragon Quest Your Story, and you'd watch the Ni no Kuni thing, and I don't remember how exactly I got to the gaming anime. I think we were talking about Final Fantasy, but
yeah.
Question: can you clarify how we got to that?
Yeah, we were talking about different series we enjoyed and movies and all this, and
yeah. It's just like the movies, and I was like, screw it. Well, what about anime? So the community question last time was, what are your favorite gaming anime movies? And that's animes based on games, which is a little bit more niche. I'm sure I'd imagine a lot less people have seen anime or game whatever series. Words escape me at this moment, but it's kind of curious. There's a lot out there. So got a few comments, not a lot.
Okay, some's better than none.
Yes. Musty Hobbit said, as far as anime, I have to say I don't know that I've watched any. And he says ducks, like he ducks. Like I'm not gonna get crap about that.
So yeah, we're not gonna talk about him on the internet. We'll just beat him up in real life.
Yeah. And I'll count this as it was a reference to our conversation on Dragon Quest Your Story, but I mean it's essentially an anime. And I back in the day, Gamer says he really liked Dragon Quest Your Story.
Yeah, well, it's like a CG anime, so it still counts.
Yeah,
it's basically liking a video game that's anime styled.
Mm-hmm. Then Tom Do You Nerd says favorite gaming based anime. Honestly, he was enthralled by Final Fantasy Unlimited. He never finished it, but really enjoyed what he caught. The only thing that kind of bugged him was the art style. It was just a little too cutesy for me. And I mentioned Final Fantasy Unlimited, and I hadn't seen it before. So I can't really say much on that. Because I mentioned that also, and I mentioned Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, which came out in like the mid-90s, which was a follow-up essentially to Final Fantasy V.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw Legend of the Crystals or not. I don't recall it if I did.
VHS now.
I do have the DVDs of
Unlimited.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Unlimited. I picked them up a couple of years ago, actually. It was kind of weird at first, but it takes a bit of getting into. But then I liked it. But yeah, at first I didn't care for it.
I wonder if Unlimited is Unlimited more like inspired by the MMO by 11, Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason why I didn't watch it, because it didn't seem like it was really tied to anything. So it's just like,
Yeah.
That's
what I think it's might be what took me a while to get into it, is because it wasn't, traditionally what a Final Fantasy thing I would expect would be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's its own thing. And then, yeah, the story was really cool in it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite gaming animes?
Honestly, I don't have a lot. Nothing current, especially. I mean, since I'm saying specifically anime, I'm talking about Japanese animated, so I can't really count Dead Space, Downfall, or Dragon Age.
Why not?
Because those aren't animes. Those are animated movies. So the question was specifically Japanese anime last time.
The Mass Effect one, it's pretty anime-ish.
I haven't seen that, but
was it Paragon Lost?
Sure it's not anime. Maybe it is. I haven't
sure it is.
But for me, one that always kind of comes to mind that I enjoyed, and I never actually played the game, was Tales of Eternia, which was based on Tales of Eternia, which we got as Tales of Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the anime I enjoyed quite a bit. The thing that sucked about it, though, was much like a lot of anime tie-ins, which, I mean, in general, most animes are based usually on a manga. A lot of them, anime is more of a promotional thing. It's to promote the manga or promote this, not.
Well, just like cartoons over here are made to promote toy lines. And
yeah. So the drag with this was they did the first season that only covered so much of the game. It wasn't the entire game, I think. I could be wrong about that. I haven't played the game, but I'm pretty sure from what I remember, it's been a while since I watched it, that that it didn't finish it. But then they're not great, but I have a soft spot for the Fatal Fury animes. There's two of them, Fatal Fury and Fatal Fury 2. Fun stuff. I think that's. I thought I had a couple others, but they're slipping my mind right now. So, generally older things, because I haven't watched a lot of newer anime based on things, especially.
Okay. Well, I would say, like, since we've already mentioned like the Final Fantasy stuff and all that kind of stuff, I'd say Tales of Vesperia. There's a movie I really liked.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I did not see Eternia. I've been looking for it, but I haven't been able to.
You're not gonna find that physically. I watched it originally. There was in the early 2000s. There was a website. It was a fan sub website where basically people would like somehow record the animes when they were being aired in Japan, and then a group would make the subtitles and put them on this website called Anime Suki, which was like a huge site in the early 2000s. And I believe that's the only way you're going to watch it is if you import it or if you just find it online, which if anybody doesn't know about a website called Kiss Anime, KISS Anime, check it out. Like, if it's an anime, you can watch it on there. It's not a legal site. It's hosted in a different country, so you can, but you don't have to download anything. There are ads, use pop-up blockers and whatnot, but you name the anime, they have it. It's fantastic.
Okay. Besides that, I really liked the dot hack animes that I've watched. They're pretty cool.
I had a friend that was really into that.
Yeah, they're cool. The funny thing is it's about a type of game that I'm not really huge into, which is like MMO. It's more like an MMO type thing in the game. But it's really cool. Like the games themselves are basically like a faux MMO feeling to them too. And linked to that, I like the Sword Art Online series, which is both a game and anime. I think they're basically parallels. I don't know which came out first, but there's definitely enough of that where I could say those. So yeah, so that's probably my favorites that I'm thinking of. I'm probably totally gonna, after we record this, I'll be like, shit.
Yeah, there's
forgetting my favorite one. You know,
there's lots. Like I just pulled up a list and I'm kind of just looking through it and seeing a bunch of stuff. I know some. For years I've been meaning to watch the Street Fighter animes.
Yeah, they're fun too. Yeah, definitely.
Picture, and then there's the Street Fighter Alpha. Haven't seen them. They're my jam because they're like that 90s aesthetic, that 90s anime aesthetic, and I really like just like the Fatal Fury movies.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of those kind of movies like fight when they translate best into fighting. The fighting games translate best into like anime and animated things because it's something, you know.
Yeah,
a lot of, just like stuff from certain comic heroes doesn't translate well to the screen. Like, you know, some of the X-Men characters, you'd be like, how are they going to do that? That's silly.
Yeah.
Like even that one where they try to do Banshee, and you're like, I don't think Banshee translates too well to live action. Stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And apparently, as I'm looking at this list, there's a lot of Tales of animes.
Yeah, there is. Almost.
I didn't realize that
a lot of the later games, the last few games about it.
Abyss, Eternia, Fantasia, Symphonia, Vesperia, Zestiria.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a few. Vesperia is the one I've liked most out of the ones I've seen. I have a couple of downloaded. And
very Geo. I always forget about that one because I never played the game and I never knew about the game.
Yeah, there's actually a Fire Emblem one that came out back in the early 90s. And it's only it only gets started though. It doesn't really continue. So that sucks because I liked what I saw and then it just doesn't go anywhere. You're like,
I rented it at Video Update. I remember.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we were trying to come up with a good community question again, and we didn't.
We tried.
I guess I was kind of thinking maybe we'd relate it to the Reggie GameStop thing. So I guess I'd be interested, realistically, like changes that you could see happening. What would be a positive change that would bring you or make you more likely to go to GameStop?
Yeah. What's something they do now that they could stop doing, like the opening games and putting them up as new?
Yeah. For sure. So yeah, let us know your thoughts, share your thoughts on GameStop and Reggie and whatever.
Yeah. Let us know what you think of it.
Yeah. So
could be a step in the right direction, but one man can't make all the difference. He's got to convince all the other hardheads to stop fucking around.
Right.
All right. Well, now we've got our question. Got to ask you, man. It's been eating me up inside. What have you been up to?
I've been up to many things. having a good time these last couple weeks.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Site proof.
Believe it. So last time I'd mentioned that I was going to be hosting the Cartridge Club Prime podcast for February.
I bet you did.
I did. And it is available. So if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely recommend it for those who might. Everybody who's listening, I'm sure, knows the spiel. Cartridge Club is a game of the month community that's kind of focused around a podcast. Over the last many months, they've kind of switched to a different little format. They used to have more dedicated hosts. Now we're kind of rotating some hosts, and I got the opportunity to host one of the episodes. Had a great supporting cast. We had Ben Rowland, who used to be one of the RF Generation podcast folks. Then we also had the Disposed Hero, which is a Cartridge Club community person. He's pretty active in the club. And also Disc Cart, the game collection display guru.
Hell yeah.
So it was a pretty neat cast, and I think we had a pretty great discussion about Bloodborne, even though I totally spaced specifically talking about like favorite bosses or like where we struggled the most.
I think you guys were pretty thorough.
I'm
called it sneaky. I actually listened. I was just joking. just like the Mario 3 thing.
Yeah. So I encourage everybody to give that a listen. And of course, I appreciate the support, and the Cartridge Club can always use more people getting involved. You don't have to do much.
Just play video games. How hard is it?
Games, maybe talk to some people. There's Discord if you like Discord. There's a forum if you like forums, or you can just kind of hang out and chat on social media or talk to people on their. There's a lot of people who do videos. Not everybody in the Cartridge Club does content creation, but there's a bunch of club members who do content creation. So yeah, it's a really cool group. But then besides that, I also put out a recent pickups video, number 34.
I seen it too.
Yeah. It's a pickup video. Not much to say about that.
That twist ending though. Watch the whole way through to see it though. It's pretty crazy. I did not see that coming.
Sure. I'll take it. And then pretty much the entirety of the last couple weeks, I've just been playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which was the Quick Save Club game of the month, which is a sister podcast to the Cartridge Club. And I finished that yesterday, actually, at the time of recording this anyways. And it was fantastic. Has some issues, but it is a great RPG.
Yeah, you were saying something about the combat isn't the best. I've heard that pretty.
Combat is very
bland
feeling. It definitely. So I didn't know a lot about the history behind this game, but apparently, when Valve, mostly known for like Half-Life and Portal and Left 4 Dead, so on and so forth, when they were developing Half-Life 2 with the Source engine, somehow Troika Games, who is developing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, got Valve to let them develop a game for the Source engine, which everybody's made a game for the Source engine at this point, but they were the first company able to make a game with the Source engine at the same time Valve was developing their game for the Source engine. So they didn't have like all the tools and resources like a lot of later developers had when bugs and tricks and things were worked out with developing for that engine. And the game was released on the same day as Half-Life 2. So it sold poorly. Apparently the game was rushed. Well, it was taking a long time to develop because the game was like the scope of the game was pretty massive, what they're trying to do with it. And they're behind, they're out of budget. And Activision was like, this game's coming out this day. You need to have it done. Well, there was minimal testing, and there was a lot of things that weren't finished and like cut from the game, and some unfinished things were in the game, but because of what the game was and the foundation that it set there, it pulled in like a huge following, and a lot of people from the community actually made there's a patch. Anytime anybody ever mentions this game, you got to get the unofficial Vampire Bloodlines patch, which essentially it was a community made patch that fixes all the bugs, restores cut content, added voice acting, added quests. I mean, they basically finished the game for this company, and it's a great game. It's the combat's not great, but that's not the focus. It's a very dialogue heavy game. Lots of choices matter. In some regards, it kind of reminded me of Fallout. In like, when you go up to a person and start talking to them, it like zooms in on their face, and then you got the dialogue box, and you can make dialogue choices. A lot of vastly different ways things can play out in this game, which is awesome because this came out in, I think it was 2004. So one of the first games, earlier games that like had huge sweeping differences for choices, or even just like what vampire clan you play as can give you a vastly different experience of the game. It's rough around the edges, but I had a lot of fun.
Excellent. Like I said last episode, I've always wanted to play it. I mean, one of these days, maybe I will.
Yeah,
I'm all in for the sequel. It's coming to console, so.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the bigger drags about this game is that it was never released for the consoles, and it will never be, because the game as it was released was broken and buggy and very unfinished and very unpolished. And it requires
Bethesda could release it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. But it had a lot of fun with that. It's a great game if you like RPGs, like RPGs that are like actual role-playing games, less like JRPG, turn-based combat is the main focus of the gameplay. No, it's a really cool game. I'm glad I finally played it. Good stuff.
Righted some past wrongs by playing it.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to? You've been quite busy as well.
Too busy. Not doing enough stuff that I like to do, but getting to it at the same time. As far as games, I have been talking the last few episodes about really wanting to do another run through Doom 2016. And then when I went to do it, I realized I never actually finished Doom 2016.
You crazy.
And when I loaded up my save after I started from the beginning and beat the whole game, I was literally about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes from the end of the game.
Well,
so I really want to know what game took my attention away from Doom that late in the game, and I just was like, yeah, I think I beat it, and then never actually did. But I've righted that wrong now, and
I'm proud of you.
Say I beat it, so happy to do that. I was always thinking like, I don't remember the end. The end must have been kind of underwhelming.
It was,
and then I got the actual ending, and then it was kind of underwhelming. But yeah, just when certain things started to feel a little tiresome, it just ended just in time.
I'm glad they ended it where they did, and they didn't try to go on longer or anything. Because I mean, the game was a ton of fun and everything. Yeah.
After a while, the same, basically relying on the special kills and stuff.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, and you could especially those last few levels, you could totally see like, all right, here's a giant room. I wonder what's gonna happen. Oh, you mean I'm locked in here and I got to kill everything before I can leave?
Yeah.
So yeah, it started to feel a little samey and right before the end, and then I was glad it ended where it did. So glad I did it. Awesome game. I can't wait for Doom Eternal. Looks even better. And in the meantime, I'm hoping to play through Doom VFR on the VR. And yeah, I've got it loaded in the console right now. So hopefully I can
Nice.
get to that in the next 2 weeks. But like I said, if I can't get a hold of a Doom Eternal Collector's Edition, I am going to wait until after MGC to do so. So,
Fair enough. I think it's fair.
yeah. And right after that, I actually played Danger Zone, which is... Have you ever played... Oh, you haven't played any of the Burnout games, right? I think you told me. Well, to people listening, if you played the Burnout games and your favorite part of the games was the crash sequences, I have great news for you. Danger Zone is literally those.
Does it
And only those.
Does it have the Kenny Loggins song?
No, it does not, unfortunately. But you can sing it to yourself while playing, and I recommend that even more.
That works.
It's it's a lot of fun. It's just as fun as it was in any of the Burnout games. It's made by the same team, and Danger Zone 2 is actually included on disc with Dangerous Driving, which is a successor to the racing part of the Burnout games. So it's basically both things put together, but maybe they just kept them separate to avoid a lawsuit. I don't know, but it plays a lot like Burnout as well. I talked about it when I beat it a couple episodes ago, but yeah, I'll have to say Danger Zone is a better realization of this than Dangerous Driving is for the racing aspect. I found a couple annoying reoccurring small glitches in Dangerous Driving, whereas I didn't encounter any of that in Danger Zone. So I'm hoping to move on to Danger Zone 2 soon, since I played the other two. Then I actually got another game by the same developers called Dangerous Golf, and I don't give a shit about golf or sports in general, but this game is basically like the Crash Breaker, but with golfing and destroying like random places, like rooms, like a.
Let it be known, I really enjoy golf games.
Like I don't know, I don't play enough of them. Maybe I would like them. I don't know. I just golf and golf. The thought of golf in general.
Great. Tiger Woods golf. Great. I don't know. It's always been. It's not a game. I don't play golf games by myself, but with friends, like
it's friends. I could see that being more fun. Yeah,
super chill. Like you don't have to like. You know,
well, which one is it? Is it 2012 Tiger Woods where you can play as Isaac Clarke?
Oh, I don't know.
One of them you can play as Isaac from Dead Space.
Hmm.
Know that. I think it's 2012 if I remember, or maybe 2011. But yeah, that's now a thing you know. The more you know. So there you go. Got two things you love in one game. You're gonna have to seek it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danger Zone, awesome. And then the last couple of days, I didn't have a lot of time to play games, but I whipped out the arcade plug and play stick that I love to play once in a while, and I played through RoboCop arcade, which holy hell is that game a quarter muncher. RoboCop is nowhere near as badass in that game as he seems in the movies. It's like
he's made of paper.
It's like 2 or 3 hits, he's dead. So just when you start to be like, yeah, like, and it's like unavoidable amount of mayhem too. So it's like, yeah, they just want your quarters. So it was a little bit disappointing, but I got through it. It was pretty fun. But yeah, like if I was actually paying money, I would have been like, this is fucking bullshit, and walked away from it. But yeah, he feels more like he's made of aluminum foil rather than titanium. So it is what it is. If you're not playing it in the arcade, I'd say go ahead and check it out if you like RoboCop. And then I played a game I really, really liked, and it was a horizontal scrolling shmup, which usually isn't even my wheelhouse. I love the vertical scrolling ones so much. I usually gravitate towards those, but I played Pro Gear, and it was super fun. It was like a bullet hell, a nice anime style to it. I got kind of a Metal Slug vibe from it when playing it, but yeah, just really super cool the way all the enemies are animated, and they had kind of a cool mechanic in it where when you'd shoot, you could hold it down. There was like an auto fire, but you could press the button faster, and it was honestly better. And when you stop shooting, you'd collect all these gems that would fly out of stuff when you defeated it.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever, if you're going for high scores and stuff, so give you a reason to not just be constantly shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I pretty much just constantly shot.
Right.
So
I'm looking at some screenshots. I definitely see the Metal Slug like aesthetic.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like, yeah,
It's really cool.
a little bit anime, a little bit Metal Slug. Good times. I'd say it felt more like Metal Slug than a lot of people can consider In the Hunt, like an anime style, or not, I mean like a
Metal Slug
style. But I felt more with this.
Interesting.
But yeah, either way,
Interesting.
excellent game. So I definitely want to revisit that. I played through it with 2 of the characters, but yeah, they're all pretty cool. It's like a biplane, and you fight like zeppelins and like this crazy submarine and stuff, and yeah, just really great visuals to it. And I think that's what really kept me into it. And it's also one of those ones where if you die, you explode, there's a chance to recapture your power-ups before they go away. So I'm always a fan of that. Yeah, so definitely, if you haven't tried Pro Gear, check that shit out. It's awesome.
Nice.
Besides that, we have released the 2nd episode of the Super Enabler Brothers.
Yeah.
Last night, actually. We did a premiere, but I think I set the premiere too early. We didn't have a lot of people watching with us, but is what it is. I was trying to balance a couple of things yesterday. So if we try doing that in the future, maybe we'll do it later on in the evening where more people can join or whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Chris and I always have a lot of fun discussing movies and games we played and stuff like that. And of course, we discussed our backlog roulette picks and how we did on our games and how we enjoyed them. And then we let the roulette wheel pick another one for next time. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't. I almost did.
We're going to have to listen and find out.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got one I'm really excited to finally play through. For most of my lists, I picked games that I haven't even played at all. And a couple of the games are ones that I played a while ago, like a long time ago when I was a kid or something, and just never got to personally beat or play a significant amount of, but I own now. So yeah, super excited to play my pick this time. And that's about it. That's about all I've been working on.
Excellent.
Got some more videos coming in a little while now that my editing programs decided to stop being a dick. Let me actually edit stuff and not slow down the video portion to be like half the speed.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, we got some games coming out in the next couple weeks. So let's talk about those real quick. I mentioned it last time, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps was released today at the time of recording this podcast anyways.
Sweet.
And
I got Langrisser 1 and 2 2 days ago. So
nice.
That's a newish one.
Switch?
What?
Switch release?
No, PS4.
Langrisser
1 and 2. I don't even know. I think it's out on Switch too. Yeah, I don't know that you mentioned it.
Oh, yeah, it is on PS4.
Yeah, I got it for PS4.
Nice. I'm not excited for this. I kind of want to be excited, but I never played the first game. Maybe I'll get the second game eventually, but I have some friends that are super stoked for Neo 2, NIOH Neo, which is kind of like a Soulsborne game, but not really. It's very different, but that comes out.
I think it's Nio, isn't it?
I don't know.
Neo's that dude from the Matrix.
True.
I don't know.
However
However you want to pronounce it, it doesn't matter. Just have fun playing games. Yeah, I've got it. I played a bit of it, not too far into it though. It is, I think people are just compare it because it's challenging.
Yeah.
definitely got a different style of its own, which is good.
It says it's more like a dungeon crawler than anything because it's very like loot. Like you get different weapons and gear, and they'll have stats like kind of like Diablo.
Yeah, it's kind of like a. I'd say it's more like a Dragon's Dogma almost.
Yeah, I like that. Of course, you'd mentioned Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is just around the corner here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have much else on pre-order before MGC, but I did have one that was supposed to be out in a couple weeks, and I was all like, "Damn it!" I just added it to my downloads, my pre-orders, but then it got pushed back a couple weeks, so that's pretty cool. And that is East Memories of Celceta, which is a PSP game that's getting released on PS4 now. So I'm excited for that, but it's been pushed back. Whoa, pushed back more than I thought. I wouldn't have even mentioned.
Yeah,
I thought they pushed it back from. It was supposed to be like the end of March here, like 2 weeks to like May. Never mind. We'll revisit that in future.
Yeah. One game I am super excited about, and I have no way to play it. And it's
Animal Crossing.
Yes, Animal Crossing. No, Half-Life Alyx. Of course, yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are excited for Animal Crossing. I will say I absolutely love these Doom / Animal Crossing memes.
Crossover memes, yeah, they're pretty cool.
They're funny. There's some really good ones. Especially, it seems like Twitter is the place where they're all going down. So if you don't really use Twitter much, you're probably missing out on some of these memes, but they're funny. They're funny. But yeah, anyway, Half-Life Alyx, the upcoming VR prequel to Half-Life 2. I got the computer. I got the computer that can play it. Now I just need to get a VR set that will work. I don't know if it will work with the original Oculus. If it does, I have a friend I could borrow an Oculus from.
Hey man, you're halfway there, Joby.
But I don't think the original Oculus will work with it. But I'm not. I could be wrong.
So you're probably just gonna window shop at MGC so you can just buy that crazy VR, right?
We'll see.
Oh, sorry, did I just spoil something?
The Valve X whole system with the additional sensors and whatnot. Last I knew was $1,000. It's a pretty crazy system. It's like the state of the art VR system. So I doubt it's going to happen, especially with all these expensive collector's editions I decided to pre-order.
Maybe you'll take on some like fake new thing where you're like, oh yeah, it's just way better for the environment if I ride a bike to work. I'm like, what'd you do with your car? Nothing. None of your fucking business. Anyway, I got the Valve Index somehow. So shit.
Started robbing banks and selling drugs or something.
Oh, shit.
You can't make money if you don't got the hustle, right?
It's true. Yeah, anything.
Yeah. So I think that's the main stuff being released in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, everything else pushed back. Because the TurboGrafx Mini was supposed to be out on the 19th.
Yeah.
So that would have been next week.
Yep.
My wife was probably more stoked about that than I was because that was like her childhood system.
Yeah.
So we'll get to it. I'll just have to buy some TurboGrafx games at MGC to hold us over.
Sure. There you go. Yeah. That's how you do it.
It's how I always do it. If something's going wrong in life, I just buy games to
buy video games.
Deal with it.
Perfect. So what are you going to be playing in the next couple weeks?
I'm going to try and get through Doom VFR. We'll see. Probably play some Soul Calibur 6. I just snagged the collector's edition for a deal. So
you make some like the create a character. Characters.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll make some game tenants with the characters, and I'll share them on Twitter. Maybe. Oh no, I gotta do it because I said it. Shit. So we'll have some crazy battle armored game tenants. It'll be a good time. Also, I'll probably be playing ADK Demacy that I got you to order me from Limited Run because I got that finally.
I don't even
And
remember what was on that.
there's a
Like some fighting games.
5 games that are on it. There's a bit of each. There is G Tangan, which is a fighting game. Ninja Combat, which looks like a beat 'em up. Ninja Commando, which looks like a top down, like a beat 'em up / like Diablo kind. Ninja Masters, which is a fighting game, and the game that I wanted most out of all of it was Twinkle Star Sprites, which is like that competitive shmup game that I have on my
Were these Neo Geo games, or were they just like on
Neo Geo.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Limited Run's been putting out some Neo Geo collections, which is pretty neat.
And SNK Treasure Returns, 5 classics, 1 bundle.
Booyah.
So yeah.
There you go. Sounds like a few things to play.
What's an import of a classic PS2 title, which means it's only available in Japanese language text in game menu? Huh. Whatever. I don't think any of those will deeply affect me by not having dialogue I can read. So yeah, looking forward to playing those for show.
Sweet.
And me, I'm super duper random, and I have to play my backlog roulette game. So
nice.
That shouldn't take a ridiculous amount of time, but it's going to be a bit lengthier than my last pick. So excited.
I believe in you.
I try to believe in me, and I thank you for having faith. All right. Well, I guess that just about rounds it up for everything we got for this week. Hey.
Well, what I got planned.
Oh yeah, what do you got planned? I thought you said first. Sorry.
Well, as I mentioned before, Ori and the Blind Forest is Cartridge Club Game of the Month for March. I'm a little bit behind, but I will be starting that next. I've really been looking forward to that for a long time. I just backlogged for miles,
For days. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to check that out. Then...
When's Undertale the Game of the Month? Is that next month or the month after?
Is May.
May, okay.
And I really, 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 really hope people play along with Prime that month, especially.
I will do that
for secrets.
I'll be there for secret.
Secret.
Keep it to yourself. That's not the Cartridge Club.
No, they should play it and talk about it and participate, but I'm extra pushing it for secret reasons.
All right. Yeah, I'm well, I've had it on like the top of my pile forever, and it just for some reason just doesn't.
Everybody, it's available on everything now. You can get it on PC, you can get it on Switch, you can get it on PS4. Let's play some Undertale. Come on, the game's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Before it starts as the game of the month for me, I'm going to put out some. I don't know how I'm going to put out some info, but there's a couple things like that are nice to know going into the game.
Okay. I may check those out.
Yeah. So, but that's a ways out. But yeah, after Ori and the Blind Forest, it's fully been my intention to replay the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII before Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out. And much like Resident Evil 2, I would really like to run through Resident Evil 3 like as quick as I can, just so I can like refresh myself on some of the details so I can like really appreciate some of the changes.
Bruh, you need some vacation time.
Yeah.
Just fake coronavirus. You do it up.
Hard one to fake.
I don't know, bro.
Self quarantine's 14 days.
Because I don't know how you're gonna do all that shit and also play Yakuza 0. So
right, because I also got Yakuza 0, which I haven't forgot about. I have a certain spot that I put games that I'm actively playing, and Yakuza 0 has remained in that spot.
Chair. Oh. All right, awesome.
But yeah, then Doom Eternal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right around the corner. Cool. So Then I will let everybody know how they can get a hold of us if they would like to, and I hope you do. Of course, the podcast is available on YouTube and SoundCloud. Also available on any way you listen to podcasts, podcast apps, Apple iTunes. Check it out.
Do it.
Tenants Podcast.
Well, they're checking it out now if they're hearing this.
True. But if not following on one of their preferred platforms of their choice, you can.
Yeah.
If you're not already doing that. Then if you want to get a hold of me, I am available on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as the Game Grinder. Just look me up and you will find me. And Jason is available on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can look up Corpse Flood Gaming.
Do that shit up. Yeah, and check out Super Enabler Bros if you get a chance, because it's only on YouTube for the time being.
Yes. It's good. It's good. It's a good time.
We're gauging response, and then maybe I'll actively pay for accounts to share on the podcast apps and stuff like that.
Actually, I might have some info. Just discovered that there is potentially a possible way to host a free podcast. So I will get that info to you. So
Okay.
Anyways,
I like it.
Yeah. So maybe soon, who knows? The Super Enabler Brothers will be available on your platform of choice.
Yay.
We'll see. But that is going to do it for this episode of the Game Tenants Podcast. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we will talk to you next time.
Catch you later.
Peace.